Now, ministers are facing further pressure from council leaders and teaching unions to reconsider plans to reopen English primary schools to some pupils from the 1st of June. At least 11 councils have expressed opposition amid safety concerns or warned they will not be ready in time. Teaching union NASUWT said it remained unconvinced reopening schools was appropriate or practicable. Here in the North East, Durham Council said that it won't fine parents who choose not to send kids back. Jane Davis is one of the heads currently preparing for the return of kids to her school in County Durham. So I caught up with her earlier. I asked her how things have changed for her, the staff and, of course, pupils at Lanchester EP Primary School in the last few weeks.
We started off with just having 3 or 4, but the numbers have grown over the last few weeks in particular. So I've had to increase staffing. We keep them in 2 separate groups during the day. And for those children, it's great fun in school. We try to maintain the social distancing. They do a mixture of their work being set online by their individual class teachers and also some fun activities. You know, we try to get them outdoors as much as possible. You know, they've been there for 8 weeks, so they're in a very good routine. They know they have to kind of try to keep apart, which is hard for children. The staff have been brilliant. You know, they enjoy going in and having that contact with the children, because it's very hard setting work online, having those discussions. We've got sort of discussion pages online, but that daily interaction that teachers yearn for really with their children is what's missing at the moment.
What's the last week been like then, given what Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister, announced he would like to see happen on June the 1st?
Oh, I could easily say it's been the most challenging in my career. I've been head now for 15 years, and I pride myself on having a very happy and enthusiastic school, and it's been very challenging trying to make headway through what's expected of schools now, if I'm being very honest. Mm-hmm. The announcement was made on the Sunday. I mean, obviously that was the first that we as heads knew, or local authorities, anybody. And then guidance has been kind of drip-fed out through the week. So, you know, you'd make a plan one day and then new guidance would come out. So you'd have to revisit it and look at it again and think, oh, right, no, this is what they're suggesting. Mm. It's very hard. You've got a mixture of parents who are very uncertain and don't want their children to return to school, and I totally respect that. You've also got parents who don't have a choice. You know, they're probably going through all sorts of different emotions, thinking, well, I've got to work, I need my child in school. Is it going to be safe? What's it going to look like? I have been very honest with parents, and I did send a letter out last week and just trying to explain that it will be different. It won't be like children coming back to the school that they remember it. It is going to be different. So it's trying to just make sure that parents have an understanding of that so they can prepare their children. Increasing confidence in parents, but also staff, because obviously staff are very worried and very concerned about getting it right. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And it's an awful lot of responsibility on your shoulders. You know, you're not a doctor, you're not a scientist, unless there's something I don't know about you, Jane. But
no, I'm definitely not a doctor or a scientist.
I mean, you say there has been guidance which has been drip fed, but actually it's almost like, well, every school is going to be different. Every school is different sizes, class sizes, you know, all varying. So it's kind of making it up as you go along, isn't it?
And this is where I think there has to be some understanding. Every school building is different. Your entrances, your numbers that you've got. So we've sat down with governors and with SLT, and, you know, we've looked at our class sizes, our corridors, our entrances, and think, right, you know, and I do get that children, you know, they've been at home for 8 weeks now. Part of being a child is that socialising with others and just being with your friends. So, you know, I do understand that we do have to, at some point, start to get children returning to school. So I think it's mentally for heads, it's getting our heads around this. Yeah, it does have to happen at some point. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so we need to have, I think this is with us for a while to stay, you know, whether it's now, whether it's September, whenever the children go back, we are going to have things slightly differently to what we've had in the past. You know, the guidance when it's come out, you get some guidance from the BMA, and then you get others from the government. This, you know, they don't always tally up. So as a head, you think, actually, you know, it's our responsibility to make sure that those children who step through our doors are safe, as are the staff.
Is there anything you feel you need to do this that you actually haven't got? Is there anything you think, well, if I had that resource, it would make my life a lot easier?
Apart from being able to look into the future, probably not.
A crystal ball on your wish list.
Yes. I think obviously trying to source a lot of the hygiene sort of cleaning equipment is a challenge at the moment because they are in short supply. Things like signage. The supermarkets have done a brilliant job making sure that you've got the 2 metre distance with their tape. I don't want yellow and black tape all around my school. It's for children. To me, I've got to make it as welcoming and as normal for children. So, I'm looking for sort of different signs that are child-friendly. I don't want children coming into school and being frightened.
Yeah, exactly. And parents don't want that either. Actually, parents,
No.
Durham Council have said they won't fine any parents who don't send their children back. They won't be penalised. Yeah. How have parents at your school reacted?
I think after I sent a letter out, which was very honest and open last week, I wasn't quite sure how parents would react and respond to that. I have to say, I have had an overwhelmingly positive reaction from parents and some amazing emails from them. I think they know us and they know that we're kind of in an impossible position, really. Yes, there are some parents who I think are feeling guilty because they do have to send the child in. And I think there's a lot of peer pressure out there on social media and parents on parents. And I just think, no, what I've said to my parents is I totally respect each and every decision. There will be children who want to come to school for their own emotional well-being, need to have that sort of daily interaction with teachers and with others. I get that totally. It's Mental Health Awareness Week that we're kind of making a big thing of in school this week because it's children's emotional well-being that concerns me mostly, not the academic sort of learning. It's making sure that they as little people are as least anxious as possible. So I think parents, yes, we've done we've put our questionnaire out there, and we're probably about half parents want their children to return to school at some point. Obviously, it's from the 1st of June, and some parents have said, they don't want them back from the 1st of June, but later on in the half term. So it's kind of just working with parents on a weekly basis.
There's also been a little bit of criticism, or certain media and press have put it this way, that perhaps teachers are scared to go to work.
That's right. And I think teachers, for some reason, teachers always seem to get a bad press. I think everybody's a little bit anxious. It doesn't matter what job you're in, you're anxious about your return, and will it be safe? So I don't think teachers are any different in that. I think where the difference lies is teachers are not only thinking about themselves, they're thinking about their children. Our teachers, we've been setting work online, we've been printing work off. We have class discussion pages so that there's that interaction daily with the children. We had a Zoom call with our Year 6 at the end of last week, which of course would have been their SATs. So we've been trying very hard to keep that daily communication there with the children. It's not the same. It's not the same, and nothing will ever replace that sort of one-to-one contact. But I think, yes, I'd be lying if I said teachers weren't scared about going back. I think they're human at the end of the day. I'm sure anybody in an office who's about to return to work, when you've been working at home for 8 weeks, you've been in your own little bubble. And it is hard to leave that. And I understand that totally. And I think it's probably double that for children when children return to school. And that's why they will need an awful lot of support, of emotional support, initially, rather than the academic support as well. So I've got a letter that will go out to parents this week, which will kind of explain, sort of the order, how we are hoping to do it. Nothing's been finalised yet. I do have more meetings today to sort that. But we are going to increase it gradually. I think it's really it's essential to make sure that staff are confident, parents are confident, and that we get this right. We've got to get this right from day one. So we will gradually increase our numbers, which I think is what most schools are doing. They're not just going to open their doors and say, yes, come on in, everybody. It's got to be done in a very careful and safe way.
And that is Jane Davis, head teacher at Lanchester EP Primary School in County Durham. And I thank Jane very much for talking to us at BBC Radio Newcastle, the sound of the North.